Have you ever wondered if you could read someone's mind? What if I told you that understanding human psychology isn't about magic, it's about science? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating and sometimes unsettling world of dark psychology. We'll uncover the secrets that influence human behavior, the hidden tactics people use to manipulate thoughts and actions, and most importantly, how you can recognize these techniques to protect yourself. By the end of this video, you'll understand the psychological triggers that control decision-making, the subtle body language cues that reveal true intentions, and the dark persuasion tactics used by manipulators every single day. So, if you're ready to unlock the secrets of the human mind, let's get started. But first, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you see people forever. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is dark psychology? Dark psychology is the study of the human condition as it relates to the psychological nature of people to prey upon others. Dark psychology is the study of the human condition as it relates to the psychological nature of people to prey upon others. Now, before we go further, let me be clear. Understanding dark psychology doesn't make you a manipulator. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Knowledge is power, and knowing these tactics helps you defend against them. Dark psychology encompasses several key areas. First, manipulation. This is the use of devious tactics to influence someone's thoughts, feelings, or behaviors for your own benefit. Manipulators exploit vulnerabilities, create dependencies, and distort reality. Second, persuasion tactics. While persuasion itself isn't inherently evil, dark persuasion crosses ethical boundaries. It involves coercion, deception, and psychological pressure. Third, mind control techniques. These are systematic methods to change someone's beliefs, attitudes, or behaviors without their informed consent. Think cults, abusive relationships, and high-pressure sales tactics. And fourth, emotional exploitation. This involves using someone's emotions, fear, love, guilt, or insecurity as weapons against them. The question isn't whether these tactics exist. They do. The question is, how do we recognize them? And that's exactly what we're going to explore. To understand dark psychology, we first need to understand how the human mind works when it comes to influence. Dr. Robert Cialdini, a renowned psychologist, identified 6 universal principles of persuasion. While these can be used ethically, they're also the foundation of many manipulation tactics. Principle 1. Reciprocity. Humans are hardwired to return favors. When someone does something for us, we feel obligated to reciprocate. Manipulators exploit this by giving you something small, attention, a compliment, a gift, and then asking for something much larger in return. You feel guilty saying no because they did something nice for you. Principle 2. Commitment and consistency. Once we commit to something, we're psychologically driven to act consistently with that commitment, even if circumstances change. Dark psychologists use this by getting small commitments first. You believe in honesty, right? Then escalating their requests. You agree to stay consistent with your stated values, even when it goes against your interests. Principle 3. Social proof. We look to others to determine correct behavior, especially in uncertain situations. Manipulators create false consensus. Everyone's doing it. All the smart people believe this, to pressure you into compliance. They manufacture social proof through fake testimonials, paid actors, or carefully selected examples. Principle 4. Authority. We're conditioned to obey authority figures. Dark psychologists position themselves as experts, use credentials, real or fake, and adopt authoritative body language to make you comply without question. They might say, "Studies show," or "Experts agree," without providing actual evidence. Principle 5. Liking. We say yes to people we like. Manipulators mirror your behavior, find common ground, give compliments, and make themselves physically attractive to lower your defenses. Once you like them, you're more vulnerable to their influence. Principle 6. Scarcity. We want what's rare or running out. Limited time offer, only 3 spots left. This opportunity won't come again. Creating artificial scarcity triggers fear of missing out, making you act impulsively without proper evaluation. Understanding these principles is your first line of defense. When you recognize them in action, you can pause, evaluate, and make conscious decisions rather than automatic reactions.
Now let's talk about something truly powerful: reading body language. They say words can lie, but the body rarely does. Research shows that communication is only 7% verbal. That means 93% of what someone is really saying comes from their tone of voice and body language. Master this, and you'll develop an almost supernatural ability to understand what people are really thinking. Let's start with the eyes, the windows to the soul. When someone is lying or uncomfortable, their eye contact patterns change. They might look away, blink rapidly, or stare too intensely to compensate. Pay attention to pupil dilation. Pupils expand when we see something we like and contract when we see something we dislike. The direction of eye movement also reveals thinking patterns. Looking up and to the left often indicates recalling a memory. They're remembering something real. Looking up and to the right suggests constructing an image, possibly fabricating a story. This isn't foolproof, but it's a valuable clue. Next, facial microexpressions. These are involuntary facial expressions that last less than a second, revealing true emotions before someone can mask them. Dr. Paul Ekman's research identified 7 universal emotions: happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, surprise, and contempt. Watch for asymmetry in facial expressions. A genuine smile, called a Duchenne smile, involves both the mouth and the eyes, creating crow's feet. A fake smile only moves the mouth. If someone smiles but their eyes remain cold, trust your instincts. Now let's decode body positioning. When people feel defensive or closed off, they create barriers: crossed arms, crossed legs, holding objects in front of their body. Open body language, uncrossed limbs, exposed torso, leaning forward, signals comfort and honesty. Watch the feet. People often control their facial expressions and upper body, but feet reveal true intentions. Feet pointing toward you show interest. Feet pointing toward an exit show a desire to leave. Hand gestures tell stories too. Palms up suggests openness and honesty. Palms down signals authority. Hidden hands, in pockets or behind the back, can indicate concealment. Touching the face, especially the nose or mouth, often accompanies deception, as people unconsciously want to cover their lies. Steepling fingers shows confidence. Wringing hands reveals anxiety. Clenched fists indicate anger or tension, even if the person is smiling. Finally, listen to the voice. Changes in pitch, speed, or volume reveal emotional states. A suddenly higher pitch suggests stress or deception. Speaking very quickly might indicate nervousness or a desire to get through uncomfortable information. Long pauses before answering simple questions could signal someone is constructing a lie. Here's the key: don't rely on a single signal. Look for clusters of behaviors and changes from someone's baseline. If someone always crosses their arms, that's just their comfort position. But if they suddenly cross their arms when a specific topic comes up, that's significant. Now we enter the darker territory, the specific tactics manipulators use to control others. Tactic 1: gaslighting. This is psychological manipulation that makes victims question their own reality, memory, and sanity.
The manipulator denies things they said or did, insists you're remembering wrong, and accuses you of being too sensitive or crazy. Over time, victims lose trust in their own perceptions and become dependent on the manipulator's version of reality. If you find yourself constantly second-guessing your memories or feeling confused about what's real, you might be experiencing gaslighting. Tactic 2. Love bombing. This involves overwhelming someone with affection, attention, and gifts at the beginning of a relationship. It creates intense emotional dependency quickly. Once you're hooked, the manipulator withdraws that affection, making you desperate to get it back. You'll do anything they ask, hoping to return to that initial intense connection. Tactic 3. Triangulation. Manipulators bring a third party into the dynamic to create jealousy, insecurity, or competition. They might compare you unfavorably to someone else, share intimate details about past relationships, or create situations where you feel you need to prove your worth. This keeps you off balance and seeking their approval. Tactic 4. The foot in the door technique. Remember commitment and consistency? This exploits it. The manipulator asks for something small and reasonable first. Once you agree, they gradually escalate to bigger requests. Because you already said yes and humans want to be consistent, you keep agreeing even when requests become unreasonable. Tactic 5. The door in the face technique. This is the opposite approach. The manipulator makes an outrageous request first, which you obviously refuse. Then they make their real request, which seems reasonable by comparison. You feel guilty for refusing the first request, so you agree to the second. You've been anchored to an extreme position, making the manipulator's actual goal seem acceptable. Tactic 6. Intermittent reinforcement. This is one of the most powerful manipulation tactics based on behavioral psychology. The manipulator provides rewards, attention, affection, approval on an unpredictable schedule. Sometimes you get praised, sometimes ignored, sometimes punished for the same behavior. It creates addiction-like patterns in the brain. You never know when the reward is coming, so you keep trying, hoping, waiting. It's the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive. Breaking free from intermittent reinforcement is incredibly difficult because your brain is literally hooked on the uncertainty. Tactic 7. Isolation. Manipulators systematically cut you off from friends, family, and support systems. They might criticize your loved ones, create conflicts between you and others, or demand all your time and attention. Once you're isolated, you become completely dependent on the manipulator, with no outside perspective to reality check their behavior. Tactic 8. Emotional blackmail. If you loved me, you would. After everything I've done for you, I'll hurt myself if you leave. These statements use fear, obligation, and guilt to control your behavior. Emotional blackmailers make you responsible for their feelings and actions, trapping you in cycles of compliance. Recognizing these tactics is crucial. If you identify them in your relationships, romantic, professional, or familial, you're not imagining things. Trust your instincts. These are real manipulation strategies, and you deserve relationships based on respect, not control. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. So let's talk about practical strategies to protect yourself from psychological manipulation. Strategy 1. Develop self-awareness. The first step in protection is knowing yourself. Understand your vulnerabilities. What are your triggers? What makes you feel guilty? What do you desperately want to believe? Manipulators exploit these weak points. When you're aware of them, you can guard them. Keep a journal. Document interactions that leave you feeling confused, guilty, or drained. Patterns will emerge. If someone consistently makes you feel a certain way, that's data, not coincidence. Strategy 2. Trust your gut. Your subconscious mind processes information faster than your conscious mind. That uneasy feeling you get around certain people, that's your brain detecting inconsistencies between their words and actions, their facial expressions, and their tone. Don't rationalize away your instincts. They're trying to protect you. Strategy 3. Establish boundaries. Manipulators test boundaries constantly, pushing a little further each time. Decide in advance what's acceptable and what's not. When someone crosses a boundary, enforce consequences immediately. This isn't mean, it's self-respect.
No.
Practice saying no without explanation or justification. No is a complete sentence. The more you explain, the more ammunition you give manipulators to argue, guilt, or persuade. Strategy 4. Slow down decision-making. Manipulators create urgency to prevent rational thought. Decide now or lose this opportunity. Whenever you feel pressured to make immediate decisions, that's a red flag. Use this phrase, "I need to think about it." Then step away physically if possible. Distance and time break the manipulator's psychological hold. If the opportunity is legitimate, it will still be there after you've had time to consider. If it's manipulation, the person will escalate pressure, confirming your suspicions. Strategy 5. Seek outside perspectives. Manipulators isolate you from others' input because objective observers can see what you can't. Regularly consult trusted friends, family, or professionals about your relationships and decisions. Describe situations factually and listen to their reactions. If everyone in your life warns you about someone and you find yourself defending that person despite evidence, you might be under their influence. Strategy 6. Educate yourself continuously. The more you learn about psychology, manipulation, and human behavior, the harder you are to fool. Read books on emotional intelligence, watch educational content like this video, take courses on critical thinking, make yourself a difficult target. Strategy 7. Document everything. In situations where you suspect gaslighting or other manipulation, keep records. Save texts, emails, and messages. Write down conversations immediately after they happen. When a manipulator denies saying something, you'll have evidence. More importantly, you'll have proof for yourself that you're not crazy. Strategy 8. Build your support network. Strong relationships with multiple people create resilience against manipulation. If one relationship becomes toxic, others can provide perspective and support. Diversify your emotional investments. Don't put all your trust, time, or energy into a single person who might exploit it. Strategy 9. Develop financial independence. Many manipulative relationships are sustained through financial control. Having your own income, savings, and resources means you always have options. You're never trapped by economic necessity. Strategy 10. Know when to walk away. This is perhaps the most important strategy. Some people cannot be reasoned with, changed, or managed. When someone consistently uses dark psychology tactics, shows no remorse, and refuses to change, your only protection is distance. Leaving is not failure. Leaving is recognizing that you deserve better and having the courage to choose yourself. No relationship is worth your mental health, self-respect, or safety.
Now that you understand these powerful psychological principles, we need to address the elephant in the room: ethics. With knowledge comes responsibility. You could use these techniques to manipulate others. You could exploit vulnerabilities, control behaviors, and serve your own interests at others' expense. But should you? Here's the truth. Dark psychology tactics work in the short term, but destroy relationships in the long term. Manipulation creates resentment, not respect. Control breeds rebellion, not loyalty. Fear generates compliance, not commitment. The most successful, fulfilled people don't manipulate. They influence through authenticity, provide value through service, and build trust through consistency. These approaches take longer but create sustainable success. Using dark psychology tactics also changes you. Every time you manipulate someone, you reinforce the belief that people are objects to be used, not individuals to be respected. You become cynical, paranoid, and isolated. You can't maintain genuine relationships because you're always calculating, always performing, never truly connecting. The purpose of learning dark psychology isn't to become a manipulator. It's to become manipulation-proof. It's to recognize when others are using these tactics and protect yourself and others. If you see someone being manipulated, speak up. If you recognize these tactics in yourself, stop and choose differently.
If you've been a victim, forgive yourself and commit to healthier patterns. Knowledge is neutral. It's your choice whether to use it as a weapon or a shield. Choose to be part of the solution, not the problem. Let's put everything together with practical scenarios so you can read people in real time. Scenario 1. The job interview. You're interviewing someone for a position. They maintain strong eye contact, speak confidently, and their resume is impressive. But notice, when you ask about why they left their last job, they touch their nose, their speech speeds up slightly, and they break eye contact. Their feet shift toward the door.
Red flag. The discomfort around this specific question suggests they're not being entirely truthful. Dig deeper with follow-up questions. Watch for more clusters of deception signals.
Scenario 2. The romantic interest. Someone you're dating is incredibly attentive at first, texting constantly, making elaborate plans, sharing deep emotions quickly. You feel like you found your soulmate, but after a few weeks, they suddenly become distant. When you express concern, they say you're needy and too demanding. This is classic love bombing followed by withdrawal. They're establishing a pattern of intermittent reinforcement. Protect yourself by slowing down the relationship, maintaining outside connections, and watching for consistent behavior over time. Scenario 3. The sales pitch. A salesperson tells you this deal is only available today, it's the last one in stock, and hundreds of people are interested. They create extreme urgency and scarcity. They mention their 20 years of experience repeatedly, authority, show you testimonials, social proof, and offer you coffee, reciprocity. Recognize these as persuasion tactics. Thank them politely and say you need 24 hours to decide. If they pressure you further or the deal mysteriously expires, that confirms its manipulation. Walk away. Scenario 4. The family dynamic. At a family gathering, one relative consistently makes jokes at your expense, then says, "I'm just kidding, don't be so sensitive," when you object. They share embarrassing stories about you, minimize your achievements, and make you feel small while smiling the whole time. This is covert aggression disguised as humor. The person is asserting dominance and lowering your status while maintaining plausible deniability. Set firm boundaries. Those comments aren't funny to me. Please stop. If they continue, limit contact. Scenario 5. The friend request. An acquaintance asks for a small favor. Can you give them a ride? Of course, you help. Then they ask if you can pick them up every Tuesday. Then they ask for money. Then they need you to lie for them. Each request escalates, but you've already established a pattern of saying yes. This is the foot in the door technique. Break the pattern by saying no to the first unreasonable request. True friends respect boundaries. Manipulators punish them. The key to reading people in real time is developing what I call psychological peripheral vision. You're not just processing the surface conversation, you're also simultaneously monitoring body language, voice tone, word choice, context, and your own emotional reactions. This takes practice. Start by consciously observing one element, maybe eye contact, in all your interactions for a week. Then add another element. Over time, this multi-layered awareness becomes automatic. We've covered a lot of ground today. From the foundations of dark psychology to specific manipulation tactics, from reading body language to protecting yourself. You now have a comprehensive understanding of how the human mind can be influenced and how to defend against it. Remember, everyone uses some of these techniques sometimes. We all persuade, influence, and occasionally manipulate to some degree. That's part of human social interaction. The difference between normal influence and dark psychology is intent, consent, and respect for others' autonomy. The truly dangerous manipulators are those who systematically exploit vulnerabilities, feel no remorse, and view others purely as tools for their own benefit. These are the people you need to identify and distance yourself from. But here's the empowering truth. Awareness breaks the spell. The moment you recognize what's happening, you regain power. The moment you trust your instincts, you reclaim your reality. The moment you enforce boundaries, you assert your autonomy. You are not helpless. You are not a victim of circumstance. You have agency, intelligence, and now knowledge. Use them. If you found this video valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future content on psychology, personal development, and understanding human behavior. Drop a comment below. Have you experienced any of these manipulation tactics? How did you handle it? Your story might help someone else recognize their own situation. And remember, the most powerful defense against dark psychology is a strong sense of self, healthy relationships, and the courage to walk away from anything that doesn't serve your well-being. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, stay strong, and stay true to yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Before you go, check out these related videos on emotional intelligence and recognizing toxic relationships. And if you want to dive deeper into psychology, click the link in the description for our recommended reading list. Until next time, take care.